Hello everyone and welcome to day 8, week number 2. This week we are exploring and expanding on the mat, so that'll be our theme or focus this week. Today we're going to take it a little bit slower before we get into that flowy practice. We're going to go over warrior 2, forward folding, wide-legged forward fold, and hip openers. So for our hip openers, I'd recommend grabbing a strap, something that you can hook around your foot like a belt or a blanket. And then if you know you like having blocks in your forward fold, go ahead and grab them. You can also bring a chair close to your mat or just walk over to your couch if you like to keep that chest lifted in your forward folds. Also, just go ahead, grab your blanket if you know you like it in your tabletop position underneath your knees. Anyway, go ahead, grab your materials, and I will meet you on the mat. Alright, you guys, welcome to your mat. Today we're going to get started on our back just for a little bit of grounding. Make sure your strap is close to you as well. So I'm taking this into my favorite form of savasana, taking my feet out wide, knees knocked together. Just shifting from side to side to get adjusted, making sure my shoulders are on the ground, and I'm just going to place my hands on my belly. Knees knocked together on the inside, maybe your toes slightly turn in. We'll just take a moment to focus on our breath, acknowledge it today. And when you're ready, exhale wherever you're at in your breath cycle. We'll take a big deep inhale through our nose. Exhale out through your mouth. This time send your breath down into your belly, inhaling through your nose. Exhale out through your mouth. Beautiful. One more time, just like that. Inhaling through your nose. One more sip at the top. And then exhale out through your mouth. Beautiful. We'll begin to seal our lips and breathe in and out through our nose, cultivating our ujjayi breath, our oceanic breath. So again, just a recap, making that H-A-Ha sound in and out through your nose when you're breathing. So imagine maybe the waves washing in on the shore on your inhales. And then the waves pulling out on your exhales. Allowing your belly to expand to get the deepest, fullest breath you can. Taking a moment to set an intention or share some thanks, or maybe just thank yourself for making it to your mat today. Thank yourself for starting week 2. Or send some love out to someone that needs it. When you're ready, gently heel toe your feet into hip width distance. If your legs are extended, bring those soles of the feet to the mat. Again, feet are hip width distance. You can readjust your hips if you need to. Then we're going to bring our right knee into our chest and release all 10 fingers around the outside of this knee, or grab your strap and bring it around the outside of your knee. Just take a few knee circles here. Inhale, knee pulls away. Exhale, knee pulls in. Just waking up our hips. If you just want to take one hand to the top of your right knee, you can go ahead and do that. Left hand can come on the ground for some stability if you'd like to. Switch directions if you haven't already. Inhale, knee expands out. Exhale, knee pulls in. Then we'll all come back through center, grabbing that strap, and we're gonna loop it around the bottom of our foot. Inhale, extend your foot towards the ceiling, toes are flexed back towards your face, and we're pressing our heel out towards the ceiling. So it's one long line of energy cutting out through our leg. We'll inhale, allow our foot to drop away from us just for a moment, and then exhale, pull that leg in towards your chest. Now my leg won't move very far. We're not trying to bring our forehead to our knee here. You want to keep a slight bend in your knees so you're not hyperextending backwards. And then if you'd like, you can take your hand as far as it'll go up your strap so your arm is extended here. And maybe with every inhale, you release a little bit of tension, and exhale, you pull it back in. Maybe you hold the pose for a moment. Turn your attention towards your hips though. Make sure both hips are rooted onto the ground so you're not tipping over into that left side. When you're ready, next inhale, we'll go ahead, open up our right leg towards the right. You gauge the intensity here, however far. Your leg doesn't have to be on the floor. Only open it up to your comfort zone. Your left foot can be planted on the ground, or you can come to the outer edge of your left foot, knee falls open. Breathing here. If you'd like to flow, inhale through center. Exhale, open up that leg. Again, sticking with your breath. One last round of breath here. If your leg is extended, we'll inhale, go ahead, bring it back through center. Bend your knee, take that loop off your foot. You can pull your knee in just for a minute to reset it. Right foot plants on the ground, left foot comes up. You can take your strap to your side or wrap it around the outside of that knee. Quick little knee circles here. Inhale, knee pulls away. Exhale, knee into your chest. And a right hand can come out onto the floor, palm face down for stability. Switch directions if you haven't already. Inhale, knee pulls away. Exhale, let's pull it in. All right, well, I'll come back through center again, grabbing our strap. Take a loop around that left foot now and kick your left foot towards the ceiling. One long line of energy. Toes are flexed back towards your face and your heel is reaching and extending towards the ceiling. Slight bend in your knee. Let's go ahead, take your strap into your left hand now. We'll inhale, lengthen, and then exhale. Begin to pull that leg into your chest. Again, only slight movement. My leg is probably only moving about 3 inches closer to me. I'm not trying to take my forehead to my knee. And then go ahead and grab your strap as far as you can to lengthen your arm and extend it so you're not bending it here. Taking your attention towards your hips, evenly distributing your weight so you're not just dumping into your right side. Maybe with every inhale you allow your leg to fall away from you, and then every exhale you pull it in a little bit closer. You can begin to open up your leg to the left now on an inhale. And holding it here if you'd like. Again, still keeping that slight bend in your knees so you're not hyperextending. And then if you'd like to flow, inhale through center. And then exhale, let that leg fall open. Option to let your right knee fall open to the right, coming on the outer edge of that right foot. Few more rounds of breath here. Again, toes are still flexed back towards your face. Last one. Inhale, we'll all come back through center. Plant that right foot on the ground and then gently unloop your left foot from the strap. You can bring your left knee into your chest to reset it. Maybe give it a hug in and then gently plant that left foot on the ground. Hands come down by your side, palm face down. Gently windshield wiper your legs. And then we're going to make our way up to a seated position. So if you'd like to bring your knees into your chest and rock and roll yourself up, you can. Or you can turn to your side and just gently press yourself up. Whatever is most comfortable for you. So making our way into a seated position, we'll sit up nice and tall. Just loosening up our neck here. We're going to drop our left ear to our left shoulder, stretching down the right side. Inhale back through center, right ear to right shoulder, stretching down the left side. And then 2 more times each side. Reconnecting with your breath if you lost it. Beautiful. We'll come back through center, kick our legs out, give them a nice little shake. You can open and close your toes, roll your ankles. And then we'll sweep our feet around to either side, coming into our tabletop position. So from your tabletop position, go ahead, set up any modification you'd like. Coming onto your fists or bringing a blanket underneath your legs. You're going to take some cat-cows. So inhale, belly drops, gaze lifts, hips lift for cow. And then exhale, press firmly through both palms as you round your spine, pulling your belly button in, compressing the air out. Again, inhaling for cow, and then exhaling for cat. Begin to incorporate any organic movement that you'd like. Rock your hips from side to side. Look back at your ankles, creating a C shape. Maybe you press back, roll forward. Whatever's going to feel good to you today. Just taking a scan of your body, noting anything that's feeling a little bit different, a little bit achy. Remembering that each day is different, and also that each side of our body is different, so go easy on yourself. A couple more rounds of breath here. We'll come back through center, through our tabletop position. We're coming into our sun salutation A, so if you know you'd like to take the modified version or stay in your tabletop, then go ahead and decorate your practice how you wish. Reminder that you can always come down into child's pose or shavasana at any point in time in your practice. So when you're ready, we'll walk our hands one palm's length forward. We'll tuck our toes, take a deep inhale here, and then exhale. Press firmly through those toes and hands and lift your knees up. Hips are reaching towards the sky. In your full downward facing dog, you can begin to walk your feet out from side to side as you adjust and get situated in your first downward facing dog. Reminder that all fingertips are spread wide. You're pressing through your fingertips, knuckles, palms. All 10 toes are facing forward, and you can't see your heels any longer because they're hiding behind those ankles. Remember, your feet and hands are not glued to your mat, so if you need to make any adjustments, go ahead and do so. We'll find some stillness here, keeping a slight bend in your knees to keep your hips high and your spine lengthening. Take that gaze in between your feet here. Take one breath together, so exhale wherever you're at in your breath cycle. Take a deep inhale through your nose, and then exhale out through your mouth. Beautiful. Inhale, come high up onto your toes. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward, step or walk to the top of your mat. We're going to gently roll all the way up to standing. Head is the last thing to come up as our arms reach up over our heads. Exhale, hands come down by our side. All right, we're going to take a little bit of side bending here. So we're going to interlace all 10 fingers, and then we're going to press our palms towards me. So our palms are reaching forward. You're going to take an inhale, arms come up so palms are facing towards the ceiling now. Exhale, drop your shoulders down your back. Again, inhale, lift up out of your hips, and then exhale, send your hips over to the left side as your arms are reaching over to the right. You're breathing down your left side body. And we're not here, we're not crunching into our right side, we're still lifting and lengthening. It doesn't have to be a big, deep side body stretch. Chest is lifting, gaze can come towards the sky or the floor. Inhale, come back through center. Exhale, send those hips over to the right. Hands are reaching to the left side of the room as you breathe down your right side body. Again, chest is lifting and opening. Gaze can come towards the sky or the floor. Inhale, come back through center, starting our sun salutation A. Take a deep inhale, reach for the sky. And then exhale, forward fold, hinging from your hips, deep bend in your knees. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold, plant your hands, step back into a high plank. We'll bring our knees on down to the floor as we slowly lower all the way down down to our bellies. Getting ready for cobra pose. Walk your legs behind you. Tops of the feet pressed into the mat. Heels of our hands slide back by our low ribs and elbows pull in tight. Inhale, lift your head, neck, and chest off the mat. Exhale, gently release down. Inhale, lift through a tabletop position. Tuck your toes. Exhale, send those hips to the sky. Downward facing dog. Again, take any movement you need in your downward facing dog. You can rock your hips from side to side. Finding stillness here, reconnect with your breath. Next inhale, come high up onto your toes. Exhale, bend your knees, keep those hips high. Look forward as you step or walk to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to shins, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, slowly roll all the way up to standing. Arms reach up overhead. And then exhale, hands come down by our side. Take a small back bend here. So hands come to our low hips. You can also do this on your knees if you took that modified version. Feet are hip width distance. So our hands are coming back behind us like we're sticking them in some pockets. Inhale, shoulders to our ears. Exhale, roll them back and down your back. Inhale, chest lifts to the sky. Exhale, press your hips forward. Core pulls in. You can keep that chin slightly tucked or drop your head back. Up to you. Breathe. You're still lengthening and you're not crunching in that low back. Core's engaged. Inhale, come back through center. Arms reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Flat back, deep bend in your knees. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Plant your hands. This time, step back to a tabletop position. So we're working our way into our warrior two, our modified version here. So set up if you'd like to grab a blanket underneath your knees. Go ahead and grab it now. So coming back to that balancing in our tabletop, we're going to take an inhale and lift our right knee and send our right heel back behind us. Again, so that long line of energy that we just practiced on our back. Toes are flexed back towards our face. Take a deep inhale. Maybe lift that heel a little bit higher. Exhale, pull everything in, knee to nose as you step your right foot forward in between your hands. Beautiful. So we're in this low lunge now. Again, always option a heel toe that that right foot forward. Now listen carefully. We're going to take this back leg, so my back left foot, and I'm going to spin my toes so they're touching the outer edge of the right side of my mat. So my calf or my shin is parallel with the top and bottom of my mat. It's like a little tiny kickstand here. When you're ready, you want to ground down. Take your weight and evenly distribute it through this right foot and your back leg. Next inhale, we'll root to rise, opening up our arms onto the horizon. So our hips are open up here. They're not squared forward like in our warrior one. And our fingertips are reaching in equal and opposite directions. Right toes are forward, so that means our right hand is reaching forward here. Inhale, shoulders to our ears. Exhale, rolling back and down our back. Gaze comes forward to our front hand. If you feel those shoulders creeping up on you, allow your elbows to bend just a little bit, still reaching and extending through your fingertips and hands here. Breathing, feeling the pose. Maybe we inhale, root down, and then exhale, sink into your pose. We'll inhale, arms reach up over our head. Exhale, turn your torso over this front leg, and then cartwheel your hands to frame this front right foot. We'll turn our left toes back behind us. Toes are reaching towards the end of our mat. And then we'll sweep this right leg back to meet our left. So coming back into our tabletop position. And then again, same thing on our left side. Inhale, we'll lift this left leg. Core is tight here, shooting that energy out through the bottom of our heel. Toes are flexed back towards our face. Maybe another inhale, bring that heel a little bit higher. And then exhale, round your spine, pulling your knee up to your nose, and step this left foot forward up to the top of your mat. Setting up for our modified warrior two on this side. Bring your right toes to the left side of your mat. So your leg is like a little kickstand behind you. Readjust your footing if you need to. Our left knee is right over our left ankle here. Evenly distribute our weight. So maybe pulling your hips back just a bit so you have weight in that back leg as well. Next inhale, we'll root to rise, lifting up. And then exhale, open your arms onto the horizon, warrior two on the left side. We'll inhale, shoulders to our ears. Exhale, roll them back and down your back. Fingertips are shooting in equal and opposite directions. And then our left fingertips are reaching forward with our left toes. Notice where your knee is and make sure it's stacked over your ankle. It's pointing directly forward. Then inhale, shoulders to our ears. Exhale, roll them back and down. Option to keep a little bend in your arms here if you feel like your shoulders keep creeping up to your ears. Take an inhale as we lift, and then exhale, ground down. Breathing, feeling the pose and experiencing the pose here. Connecting with your breath. And then inhale, arms reach up overhead, palms touch. Exhale, turn your torso forward and cartwheel your hands to frame this front left foot. Right toes turn back to point towards the end of our mat, and then pressing through your palms, allowing this right knee to come back behind you, tabletop position. Beautiful. You can rock your hips from side to side. And then I'm going to gently make my way into a downward facing dog to take this into one more vinyasa here. So I'll take an inhale through center, exhale, lift my knees up, straightening my legs, hips towards the sky. And then again, keeping a slight bend in your knee. Breathing here. We'll inhale, come high up onto our toes. Exhale, bend your knees, step or walk to the top of the mat. We'll inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, slowly roll all the way up to standing. Arms reach up overhead. And then exhale, hands come down by our side. Taking this into a small back bend here. We'll inhale again, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, hands come behind us like we're sticking them in some pockets. Inhale, shoulders to your ears. Exhale, roll them back and down your back. Core is pulled in tight. As we inhale, lift through our chest. Exhale, press our hips forward. Again, core is tight, protecting our low back. Chin can be slightly tucked in, or you could drop your head back. It's up to you. Breathing. Next inhale, we'll come forward. Arms reach up overhead. Exhale, forward fold, hinging from your hips, leading with your heart. Deep bend in your knees as you step back into your downward facing dog or tabletop position. Now coming into our full expression of warrior two, always option to take the modified version. We're going to practice that same lifting and line of energy out through our heel in our downward facing dog, So our feet are going to step together at the back of our mat, and we're going to inhale, right leg lifts to the sky. Keeping our hips level, we want our toes flexed back towards our face and our heel pressing firmly away from us. Again, one long line of energy shooting out through our heel. Take another deep inhale, maybe lift that heel a little bit higher. Exhale, pull that knee in, crunch in, allow your spine to round, and then shift your weight forward as you step your right foot in between your hands. Our back left foot can step in a bit, and we'll spin that heel down towards the earth. Again, toes are going to be facing towards 11 o'clock here. And then again, finding that center point and shifting our weight so our weight is evenly distributed through both feet. Taking our right knee over our right ankle when you're comfortable. Next inhale, we'll root to rise, lifting up strong core. Exhale, hands will come onto the horizon. You can take your hands to your hips here so you can get situated. Again, if your knee is too far forward, that might mean your stance is a little too short. And then if your knee is extended and you can't really get a bend, that might mean your stance is a little too wide. So finding that sweet spot, making sure your knee is directly forward, it's not coming out to the inside or the outside. Let's take those hands back onto the horizon. Let's pull our core in as we inhale, lift up out of our hips. Exhale, ground down. Breathing, making sure Our back foot is firmly rooted onto the earth. It's not lifting up at all. Inhale, shoulders to our ears. Exhale, rolling back and down your back. Option to keep that slight bend in your elbow here. Hands are still reaching in opposite directions. Gaze is over your right hand. Taking this into a flow, we'll inhale, arms reach up overhead, front leg straighten, slight bend in your knee. And then exhale, come back, warrior two. Again, inhaling, front leg straightens, palm touch. Exhale, warrior two. One last time, inhale. And exhale, come back, warrior two. This time, keep that front knee bent. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, turn your torso towards the front. And then cartwheel your hands down to frame this front right foot. Left toes turn forward as that heel lifts off the earth. Option to drop your knee. Or you can step back, sweeping your right foot back to meet your left in your downward facing dog. Taking a moment to reground. Exhale wherever you're at in your breath cycle. Take a deep inhale through your nose. Exhale, side out. Beautiful. Seal your lips and continue with your Ujjayi breath. Heading into our left side here, big toes touch behind us. Inhale, left leg lifts now. Again, toes flex back towards your face. Line of energy coming out through that heel as our hips are level. Weight is evenly distributed through our hands. Again, inhale, lift that heel a little bit higher if you can. Exhale, bend your knee, pull it in. And then step it forward in between your hands. Readjust. If you need to pull that back foot in a bit, you can. Again, your feet aren't glued to the mat. And we want our left heel right over our left foot. When you're ready, spin this back right heel down towards the earth. Your right toes are turning towards 2 o'clock. And then again, maybe inhale, come forward, and then exhale, shift your hips back so the weight is even in both feet. Your back right foot is rooted on towards the earth. It's not coming up at all. When you feel comfortable, next inhale, root to rise, working your way up, strong core. Exhale, arms open up onto the horizon, left hand is reaching forward now. Inhale, lifting up out of your hips. Exhale, sink low, core is tight. Again, checking in with your foundation here, making sure that knee is pointing forward. And your back heel is rooted onto the earth. Inhale, shoulders to our ears. Exhale, rolling back and down your back. Maybe keeping a slight bend in your elbow here if you feel those shoulders creeping up. Gaze is over those front left fingers here. Breathing. Taking this into our flow, we'll inhale, arms reach up overhead, palms touch, front leg straightens. Exhale, come back, warrior two. Again, inhaling, palms touch overhead, front leg straightens, keeping a slight bend in your knee. Exhale, come back, warrior two. One more time, inhale, palms touch. Exhale, come back, warrior two. Ground down, feel the pose. This time, front leg stays bent as we inhale, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, turn your torso and cartwheel your hands to frame this front left foot. Back right toes turn forward as your heel lifts off the earth. Option to drop your right knee down and sweep that foot back, or you can just step your left foot back to meet your right, hinging into your downward facing dog. Again, always option to drop your knees, coming into a modified downward facing dog or tabletop position. We'll take one breath together here. Inhaling. Exhale out through your mouth. Keeping that slight bend in your knees, hips are high. When you're ready, we're all going to walk to the top of our mat in a forward fold. So if you're in a modified version of downward facing dog or in a tabletop, we'll all gently pick ourselves up as we walk our feet up to our hands. Maybe our hands lift off the earth. And the next inhale, we'll slowly roll all the way up to standing. Arms reach up overhead. Exhale, hands come down by our side. Now we're going to take a quarter turn to the left or right. Bringing our blocks with us, coming into our wide-legged forward fold. If you'd like to come to a couch or a chair, go ahead and grab it now or walk over to your comfortable space. Starting at the top of our mat, Inhale, arms reach up overhead, don't hit your ceiling. And then exhale, take a very, very wide stance. Arms come onto the horizon, just like our warrior two arms. Now, you want to take a bigger stance than you think you want to. So allow yourself to take up space on your mat. This is your space to explore. In Prasarita, or wide-legged forward fold, a lot of people, especially sometimes in class, cue that your toes need to be turning in towards each other. Now, I have really sensitive ankles here, and if you do too, or if you have any sciatica pain, you want your toes facing forward. So the outer edges of your feet are parallel with the top and bottom of your mat. Going a little bit further here, if you'd like, you can take your toes out, pointing them to the corners of your mat if this is more comfortable for you as well. If you want, you can heel toe your feet out a little bit wider here. We're going to take our hands to our hips, keeping a slight bend in your knee, and we're going to inhale, lift through our chest, and then exhale, begin to forward fold, hinging from your hips, flat back. When you're about halfway down, release your hands, bringing them to the chair, your blocks, the floor, or the couch. You can even, if you have a big stack of blocks, you can bring your forearms to the blocks or maybe your chair. And then allow your head to drop down. Just feeling the pose for a moment here, seeing where you're at in space. Sometimes it's a little disorienting upside down. Take your gaze in between your legs if that's okay. Letting your neck lengthen, and then bring that bend back into your knees to send your hips high. We're going to play around with our weight here. So take a deep inhale, maybe shift your weight back into your heels, and then exhale, begin to shift your weight forward into the balls of your feet. Feet are still firmly planted on the ground. Option to bring your hands to the floor if you'd like. And then again, just playing with that weight, maybe shifting it back, and then exhale, maybe shifting it forward, finding your comfort zone. If you'd like, you can bring your hands to the blocks and extend them to keep your chest lifted. If you're having a little bit of time breathing, hard time breathing, or you can completely forward folding and hinging from your hips, keeping that bend in your knees. Again, just feeling the pose here. Taking your time to experience it. Oftentimes we're flowing so fast through class that we forget to take time and really note where we feel the pose. Maybe breathe into it if you feel any tension in your legs or in your hips. With every exhale, allowing your spine to lengthen, gaze towards the back wall. When you're ready to come on up, if you're on your forearms, we're going to straighten our arms here, pressing firmly through whatever prop we have. And then when we're coming up here, we want to keep a flat spine. But I want you to imagine like you're trying to rip your mat in half down the center. So you're pressing your feet so hard apart into your mat that you're trying to rip it right in half. So when you're ready, keep a bend in your knees, walk your feet in a little bit if you need to, and bring your hands to your hips. When you're ready, next inhale, we'll all lift up, flat back. Legs are firmly pressing away from each other. Head is the last thing to come up. Beautiful. We're all standing now. We'll gently walk our toes in just a bit, so we're not totally in that big wide stance. And then we'll take our toes out wide so they're pointing towards the corners of our mat. Hands come to our hips as we bend and sink down into this sort of half squat. We're just going to wake up our hips here, shifting from side to side. You can flow with your breath. Inhale through center, exhale to the left or right. And then you can pick those toes up off the mat if you'd like, or you can stay right where you are. Gaze can come down at the floor. You don't have to crank your head up. You can sink your hips lower if you'd like. Really getting into your hips here. Keeping your core tight, gaze down at the floor. 2 more breaths here. And we'll all inhale, lift through center, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, hands come down by your side, and we'll gently step our feet back to hip width distance. And then we'll take a quarter turn back to the top of our mat. We'll inhale, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, forward fold, hinging from your hips. Inhale, halfway lift, reset that spine. Then exhale, forward fold, deep bend in your knees as you step down, coming into a tabletop position. You can rock your hips from side to side here. Shake your head yes, shake your head no. And then we'll scoot our feet to either side, coming down to our mat into a seated position. We're going to scoot our bum up towards our heels, hands come out in front of us. You can lower one elbow down at a time, or you can take an inhale at the top with me, and then exhale, gently lower all the way down to your back. Now we want to keep our pillows close, or you can set up your blanket for Shavasana here. We're going to remain on our back for the remainder of practice. Coming into our first reclined pigeon or a figure four pose. We're going to take our right foot up and over our left knee like we're sitting in a chair. Now you can stay here, or if you'd like, we all want to keep our toes flexed back towards our right knee, and that, again, energy is shooting out to the bottom of our heel, engaging our foot. So again, you can stay here, or you can interlace all 10 fingers behind your left thigh, or you can grab your strap and bring it behind your left thigh to give you a little bit more leeway if that's not accessible today. So having your foot on the ground might be enough of a stretch, or if you want a deeper stretch, again, bringing those hands behind your left thigh. Take a deep inhale, and then exhale, pull your left knee into your chest. You want to keep that right knee opening up towards the side. So bring your right elbow into the crook of your right knee. Again, toes are still flexed back towards your knee. And you gauge the intensity here. Sending your breath into any tension points or stretching that you feel. Option to keep your left leg bent, or you can straighten it towards the sky, again pressing through your left heel up towards the ceiling. Your choice. 2 more rounds of breath here. And then we'll all inhale back through center. If that leg was up towards the ceiling, go ahead and bend it and bring your left foot back down towards the earth. Hands are going to come wide like a T. We're taking this into a twist. So if you'd like to bring your pillow or blanket to the left side of your mat, go ahead and grab it now. That right foot is still crossed over our left knee. Take a deep inhale. And then exhale, the right sole of our foot's coming to the left side of our mat with the outer edge of our left leg, twisting to the left. Gaze can come up towards the ceiling, or you can bring your gaze over your right fingertips. Shoulders are melting down towards the mat. We're not trying to crank or push anything into this twist. Just reconnect with your breath and breathe into those tension points, maybe on the outer right hip. We'll inhale back through center. If you want to use that left hand to lift your legs up back through center, you can. Drop your right foot down or uncross it. You can straighten it, give it a little shake if you'd like. And then bring your right foot back down towards the earth. Knees are bent, feet are hip width distance. Cross that left foot over your right knee. Allow that left knee to fall open, and then toes are flexed back towards your knee. So again, shooting out that energy through your heel of your left foot this time. Option to stay here, or you can interlace all 10 fingers behind your right thigh, or grab that strap. You gauge the intensity here. You can take a deep inhale. And then exhale, pull your right knee into your chest, keeping that left knee open out towards the side, bringing your left elbow to the crook of your left knee.
Again, toes are still flexed back towards your left knee. Option is straighten your right leg towards the sky or keep it bent. Breathing here, shoulders are relaxing down into the earth. Reconnect with your breath and breathe into any tension points. That right leg was extended, go ahead and bend it and bring that right foot back down towards the earth. Arms come wide on the ground like a T. Option to bring your pillow to the right side of your mat now as we're going to twist to the right. Take a deep inhale through center. And then exhale, left sole of your foot comes to the right side of the mat or your pillow, along with the outer edge of your right leg. Again, shoulders are melting towards the mat. Gaze can come up towards the ceiling. You're over your left fingertips here. Breathing into the outer edge of your left hip, maybe. Bringing that gaze up towards the ceiling, we'll inhale through center. And then exhale, release that left foot towards the earth. You can straighten out your leg, give it a little shake. We're going to take this into a quick happy baby. So with our happy baby, we're going to bend our knees and then bring our soles of our feet to lift up towards the ceiling. Again, toes are flexed back towards our face, still practicing that line of energy through our heels. Option to grab your thighs, your outer edges of your calves, your ankles, or even the outer edges of your feet, whatever's available today. Our tailbone's going to release down towards the earth along with our shoulders here. We'll breathe, allowing our hips to fall open. Maybe one day our thighs are parallel with the earth, but if they're not today, that's totally fine. Remember that every day is different and each side of our body is different. Option to rock from side to side or stay still, it's your choice. Gently release any grip that you have. Bring your knees back together. Take a deep inhale, allowing them to fall away. And then exhale, bring them as close as you can into your chest, forehead to your knees, giving yourself one last hug today. And then inhale, allow yourself to expand on your mat into your savasana. So allowing your hands to come up over your head, your feet fall open, and your fingertips to gently curl in. Experiencing your pose and letting go of any breath work that you may have been practicing. Feeling the rise and fall of your belly as you allow the earth to hold you up. Release any tension in your jaw and any tension in between your eyebrows. Allowing your face to soften. Option to pause the video now to remain in Shavasana. When you're ready, begin to wiggle your fingers, wiggling your toes, And then when you're comfortable, rock onto your favorite side, cradling your head in your arm. And then at your own pace, gently press yourself up to a seated position. Eyes can remain closed or down at the floor. We'll inhale, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, palms come through heart center as you gently gaze to your fingertips, returning to your intention, your thanks, or your love. Thank you guys so much for flying with me today. It's always an honor. Namaste.
Hello everyone, thank you so much for flowing along with me today. Your support is truly appreciated and it really means a lot. I would just like to remind you to like and subscribe to this channel so I can continue to put out free videos and tutorials, meditations weekly just for you guys. Also, leave me a comment and let me know how you feel, or if you have any recommendations for upcoming videos or meditations that you would like to try. I'm always open, and let me know. Let's get connected. Again, remembering to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.